What is going on? Today we are going to be doing another election prediction for the next election of the United States in 2020, and this is going to be a Donald Trump versus Tim Ryan race. Tim Ryan is a very unpopular candidate among the Democratic Party. Not saying he's that unpopular, but in comparison to his attempts at power and to his debate performances, this would be probably the worst candidate that the Democratic Party could actually pit against the President of the United States. He announced his candidacy on April 4th, 2019, and just ever since then, I don't even think he's even going to be available to, or I don't even think he's able to actually compete in the next Democratic debate. So the Tim Ryan campaign is just not looking that healthy right now. So what I'm actually going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and just fill in all of the obvious states. All of these states, no matter what, would be voting for Donald Trump. In no way, shape, or form do I even think that these states would even want to vote for Tim Ryan. In any case, I think, and even Arizona, as competitive as they could seem, and even Iowa, I do not think that they would be able to, that Tim Ryan would be able to show himself as a powerful candidate enough to defeat Donald Trump. So first state we're going to be going to is some of the states that I believe the Democratic Party can win in any case whatsoever. Even Washington and Oregon, as much as a lot of people think, Washington and Oregon are not that competitive. So that's 74 electoral votes automatically for the Democratic Party. Illinois, New York, Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Jersey, Maryland, Delaware, all of them are, no matter what, going to be voting for the Democratic Party, as well as the District of Columbia's 3 electoral votes. So that leaves about 151 electoral votes up for grabs in this pretty bad election for the Democratic Party. Florida, Ohio, even, as Tim Ryan is representative from Ohio, even Ohio will be voting for the President of the United States twice, because in any case, I do believe that Ohio is conservative enough that Tim Ryan would not be appealing to a lot of voters in Ohio. That would be probably a 10-point margin that Donald Trump would win by in the state of Ohio. Wisconsin and Pennsylvania definitely would be going toward the president because of just, again, Tim Ryan. My basis of this video is basically saying that Tim Ryan is not a good candidate. He just doesn't seem like he can actually be some sort of a power against Donald Trump, and that's what this election is basically about, is that Donald Trump is the big baddie in the White House and we need to stop him. But Tim Ryan is not the candidate. Michigan would even be voting for Donald Trump because of just the unappealing nature of Tim Ryan. Coming over to New Hampshire, I believe New Hampshire would be voting for Donald Trump. But coming over to Maine, I do believe that the 1st district, I actually got that wrong. The 2nd district of Maine and at large would, staying with the Democratic Party, but the 2nd district of Maine would be voting for the president. This is 307 electoral votes already for the president. This is how bad I think it would be for the Democrats to pit this guy against Donald Trump. Nevada, I believe, would still be staying with the Democrats, as well as New Mexico, but coming over to Virginia and Minnesota and Colorado as well, these states are always kind of like somewhat competitive because they've recently voted for Republicans in the past. In 2004, Colorado and Virginia voted for President George W. Bush, and Minnesota just hasn't voted for a Republican candidate in about 40 years. But in this case, I do believe Minnesota would be going over to the Republican Party. I do believe Colorado would be going over to the Republicans, and I do believe Virginia would be going over to the Republicans. Again, this is basically because there wouldn't be a lot of Democrats coming out to vote for Tim Ryan. Virginia's case, I do actually believe they would be extremely close. In any case, I do believe it would be very lightly Republican or Democrat. Colorado would also be that case, but in a Republican favor. So I do believe that it would still be very close in any case in these two states. Minnesota, however, I do believe it would be maybe within a 5-point margin of how close it would be. So in this case, in this actual election, I do believe that this would be the map. I actually kind of changed my mind on Virginia. Virginia is basically dominated. It's basically like Illinois. Chicago dominates Illinois' political landscape. A lot of the 20 electoral votes that Illinois comes from, most of that is based in Chicago. The same thing is in Virginia, where Richmond, the suburbs of Washington, D.C. And lastly, I do believe Alaska would be sticking with the president, but then Hawaii would be voting for the Democratic Party. If you guys like this video, go ahead and leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to see more election predictions like this, please comment below, and I will post more as the days come. I am going to start getting into this more. You're going to see a lot of these videos getting pumped out of my channel. So if you want to see any candidate being featured on this channel, please let me know, and I will see you all in the next video.